A man in China sued his wife, then divorced her because their children were born extremely ugly. Yes, crazy story, right? We're going to find out why. So a man in China named Jian Feng always dreamt of having a beautiful family. He wanted to be like his brother, aspiring to great things, good family, grounded family, beautiful wife, and many children. After rejecting so many wives because he was a rich man, he finally found a woman that he believed was the woman that was right for him. She was extremely beautiful, looked like a model. She had this attitude and elegance that was mind-boggling. Feng decided to make her his wife. He says, I married my wife out of love, but as soon as we had our first daughter, we began having marital issues. Our daughter was extremely ugly that it horrified me. Wow. You listen to that? How our daughter was extremely ugly that it horrified me. I mean, what father is horrified by their child? That's crazy, isn't it? Okay, so a few moments later, a couple of years later, they had another child, and she came out to be extremely ugly too. So then Feng said, you know what? I've had enough, okay? This doesn't look like me. You're a beautiful woman. I'm a good-looking man. I know beauty depends from one person to the other, but come on, look at my face and yours. Are these our children? So he accused his wife of cheating because that was the only logical answer to that. Because he believed that the children looked nothing like him and deemed them to be extremely ugly children. Again, what parents call their child ugly? This is crazy. Most of the time when you speak to a woman, okay, mostly women, she'll tell you, oh, well, I'm a mother of 2 beautiful children. Yeah, beautiful children. According to who? According to her. Because every person, mostly women, find their children always beautiful, right? And men too. They find their kids like the most amazing thing ever. Like the child is usually the most clever child of the class. The smartest. It's delusional because, well, it's biased. Maybe I should be softer. But that's the reality. Now, seeing a man that qualifies his own children as extremely ugly, it must be very painful to get to that level. Following these accusations and many trouble between the husband and wife, the wife then acknowledged saying, well, I have done a lot of plastic surgery. Yes, I've done a lot of plastic surgery worth $100,000. $100,000. Just convert that to your money. How much is that? $100,000 worth of surgery. That's what I did before I became what you really liked. The man was extremely angry to hear that. It feels like you've lied to me. You've made me buy something that was not what I thought I was buying, right? It's like you want to buy an iPhone from somebody who's your friend or cousin or say needs money, but then you pay for it, and when you go home, just realize it's not a real iPhone. It's actually a fake iPhone. How do you feel? You feel robbed, right? That's exactly how a man felt. Following her admitting about doing plastic surgery worth $100,000, the husband sued her and divorced her on the ground of false pretenses. And the court agreed with the husband's argument and ruled in his favor. Then the court of law said, because you spent $100,000 to lie to this man, changing your face and everything, you're going to have to pay him back $120,000 for the damage you had done to him. Congratulations. Yeah. You need a lot of bravery to get to that level. And for the court to say, you know what, nah. If you look at the pictures, just look at the picture. Look at the woman the way she was before and the way she became after surgery. These are completely 2 different people, right? The first one, you're probably going to go like, nah, she looks like a drug addict or like an alcoholic maybe, just to be nice. Then look at the second one. You go like, wow, who is this girl? So the man was right. You can look as ugly as you want, but just make sure you give birth to children that are okay looking, not kids that look like Chinese hippopotamus. Oh, sorry, I'm just kidding. So the man was not happy at all. I said, nah, give me money and get the hell out of here with the kid. After DNA, in fact, they checked the DNA and they realized that the kid are indeed his children. She did not cheat on him. The kid was just ugly because she was ugly, according to the husband, not me. I think this is a very interesting story. Just put yourself in this person's shoes. We see that very much. We see that very much with makeup, with false hair and stuff like that. Sometimes you see a woman who she doesn't look bad, but when she puts makeup on, she looks like a Chinese. But then I firmly believe that makeup were made to accentuate what you are already. I don't think makeup are there for you to look like a Japanese woman. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's robbing people. That's lying. Imagine men have to put false beard so they can look good. Men have to put 4 6-packs. It's the same. I'm sorry. False eyelashes, false hair, false, designing of. It's exactly the same thing. I don't care what you say. There are very beautiful looking women that don't wear makeup. And the problem is not about makeup. Actually, let's get back on track. So, choosing to have plastic surgery is not the issue here. I mean, I can understand you having some insecurities about your body and wanting to change that. And if everything works well for you, then there's nothing wrong with you doing what you want to do with your body. However, when you marry somebody and you're going to have children together, you are bound to tell them the truth on how your life been. I know many people say here that, well, my past is my past, it's none of your business. No, I'm sorry. Your past is important because when you go get a job, okay, let's just talk about job, whether you're a man or woman, you go get a job, they ask you for your CV. What is your CV for? If your past is just your past. People need to see your CV so they can tell how you've been behaving, how many jobs you've changed in the past 3 years. Have you been regular? Have you been consistent? Have you been changing places? Your past is very important. And I think there are certain things that you could keep to yourself, but there are major things like this you cannot hide. You cannot go into the pretense of, well, doesn't matter. It's going to play a big role in the future. You can't hide the fact that you changed something in your body. And also, we see many stories here, many situations. It's like somebody's got a chronic disease or, some of those stuff comes into a relationship with somebody and chooses not to talk about it. There's a lot of stories like this. I'm sorry, but there's plenty of situations like this. And when you ask them, they'll tell you, well, the reason why I didn't say is because I was scared that he may leave me. So I didn't tell him that I was HIV positive. I don't think there's any reason to cry for that. Not today anymore. But I believe some people want to keep they want to stay negative. So it's not for you to choose for them how they're going to be because I love them so much. I was too scared he's going to run away from me. I found that extremely selfish. People do that. That's the reason why we talk about this. People do that. The crux of the matter is, I believe you need to share information, whether you're a man or a woman. If you've been through shady stuff, dodgy things, you've been around the block, you need to talk to the man and say to him, listen, I feel like there are certain things I need to share with you because it's important to me that we're on the same page. Okay, because in the future, if it bothers you, at least there is no pain because we did not engage into the situation. Or you can choose immediately to let me go because you don't like how I am. If you have hepatitis, you need to talk about it. You can't just be kissing people. You're going to do damage. It's selfish. It's unacceptable. And I have to talk about this because these are things that happen every single day within our communities. If you have diabetes, you need to talk to the man. Look, I have diabetes. Are you okay with being in a relationship with somebody who's going to be... Yeah, you need to share this information. If you have any chronic disease, any transmissible disease, any STD, STI, you need to talk about it. I feel like if you talk about this situation, these things, you give yourself more chances. Let me put it this way for you. There was a girl that I saw, many years ago, approximately 14 years ago. Lovely woman. We spoke, we talked. I was very much into her. But then I was clever enough to say, hey, listen, how about we go get tested before we even start talking like that? She said, okay, I'm going to go first. She went first. She came back positive. She didn't run away. She came with a paper. I was trembling, shaking, like, oh my God. I started crying because I was like feeling like my life was... That was probably one of the last times I think I saw her, maybe twice after that. I was just trying to be a nice person, talking to her nicely, telling her to accept God and love Jesus and stuff like that. And everything is going to be okay. She's still alive today. Okay, I don't know how she did it, but the reality is I praise her for being honest enough to share that information because some people just do, you guys just do that, she looks nice, she looks fine. However, I think it's important also to say that it's okay to share that information because, well, it's not the way it used to be in the past. Those diseases in the past used to be very, very crazy things. Like in the 1990s, you wouldn't survive. If you are diagnosed with it, you would not survive. But today, it's not the same. People just take medication like a little thing every morning, and they have a normal life. They have children that are negative. They have family. They live a normal life. But still, I think it's one of our obligations to share these information. In many other African countries, it's very difficult for people to share that. They don't want to talk to you about that. If they know they have situations like that, they will not share with you as a partner. They will not talk to you as a potential partner because they're too scared. Number one, you're not going to give them a chance. Number two, if you happen to separate, to part ways, you're going to probably be the first person to go and talk to everybody else about a situation. Yeah, because people do that. I think South Africa is probably one of the few countries where people actually, people can share those type of information without necessarily being looked at in a very disgusting way. In many African nations, if they discover that a person is, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say because we're getting censored. That 3-digit thing. If they find out that you have that, everybody's they're going to put pictures of you on the street. Yes. So there's this feeling of feeling dirty, feeling disregarded from society that comes with it. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that South Africa is clean. It doesn't happen. Yes, surely. Some people are just damn stupid. But clearly, some countries accept certain situations better than others. So I believe people need to share information. And another thing happened in the past. I remember many years ago, I went to a nightclub and there was this woman really, really, really into me. And I started talking to her nicely. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I was young, maybe 22 or something. Yeah, how's everything and all that? So where are you going? Well, I'm going home. Where's your home? Not far from here. Well, I stay far. It would be nice that we go together. I can sleep in a couch in the morning. I'm like, yeah, right. I was like, no, I wasn't interested in her, actually. Okay, I was interested in her friend. And her friend was sitting right next to her. So a friend came. I said, actually, I was honest with her. I think I like your friend. She was like, oh, okay, no problem. A friend came. We started talking. I was all excited and everything. Then I thought it was about time I would leave. I said, well, I'm going. She comes and looks at me. She said, you look like a nice guy. I remember I treated her nice. Bought her champagne, whatever I could. No, not champagne. I'm lying there. I bought her something cheap anyway. Yeah, I'm just trying to make the story nice. It wasn't champagne. One of the cheap drinks, whatever. Actually, this happened in Cape Town, South Africa at the time. So I didn't know. So she comes and looks at me and says, you know, you're a really nice guy. I really, really like you. But I'm not a woman. I was like, what? Excuse me? She's like, no, I'm not a woman. I'm a man. Like, if you were somebody else, I'd probably go with you. But I'm a man. I'm like, no. Then he goes, I'm a man. I'm not a woman.
Extraño, ¿cómo te llamas tú?
Papi, Fabián Guerrero.
Amor mío, ¿y cómo te llamas tú?
Miguel.
No lo esperaba de
ti. I was like, yeah. So he told me this. I've traveled very much across Africa. And when I go there, many men want me. And many men want me. And these men, most of them are married and stuff. So I don't tell them. I go with them. And until I had a situation where somebody found out that I was like that, and he started crying, and he went to the police, and that's when I decided to come back to South Africa. So that's crazy. So Cape Town in South Africa is a place where you find a lot of people like that. And it's accepted in society by most people. They don't bother them and everything. So basically our story is very simple. This Chinese man and his wife, very funny story. And the lesson is very simple. Share the history. Talk about yourself. Be honest on things. I think it's going to help everybody. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. God bless.